Hello, welcome to Clockwise. My name is Providence Essien and I'm your host. Clockwise is a sanctuary where innovation knows no bounds. And on this podcast, we look at the tech ecosystem, the various in-demand skills that can give you a tech advantage to earn in dollar and to spend in naira. And today, I have a very special guest. And together, we'll be having a deep conversation on the fascinating world of front-end development. But as usual, you'll meet my guest after this break. Welcome back. As I said earlier, my guest is a front-end developer, and I can say she's also a developer relation manager of InterSwitch. With a virtual round of applause, please welcome Miss Joy Offiong. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you very much.
I don't know. Today's a special day, and since we've been having this podcast, I feel that today is the first time we are having a female guest.
Okay.
Very inspiring.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be a front-end developer?
Well, it's not an easy road to take. I mean, we all know that, you know how tech can be.
Yeah.
But then it's fulfilling when you're able to solve problems and also like collaborate with people to build products that other people use. It feels good to see somebody else use a product that you built,
okay?
And you know that you have the code base, like you worked on this thing and it's working. It feels fascinating, like really cool.
Oh, now I want us to know. I'd like to know more about you. Who is Joy Offiong?
Who is Joy Offiong?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very easy question. So, well, Joy is a girl, apparently.
Yeah, you're not a man now.
Obviously, yeah. And she's resilient and she loves the tech space and she loves what she does. And she's very hardworking and she thrives on a daily basis to get really good at it and improve on the already existing skills that she has. So I would say that Joy Offiong is passionate about what she does and she's hardworking.
Did you actually study front end? Or was it something? What did you do in school? What was the course of study?
I studied economics.
So how did you switch
to
becoming a front end? What happened?
Do you want me to go into the story?
Yes, I need the story.
Great. So I was posted to Nasarawa State for my NYSC.
Kefi or Lafia?
I stayed in Kefi.
Okay.
Yeah. Then over time I stayed with an uncle.
Okay.
Right, in Abuja. Right. But then the church I attended,
Which church was that?
Church of Christ.
Okay.
Yes.
The only church in the Bible.
You know it. That's how
it's the only Church of Christ that's in the Bible.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So before I left here in Akwa Ibom, I was already in the ICT unit, right?
Okay.
And then when I moved down there, I was really more in Abuja than in Nasarawa, right?
Okay. You're a ghost copper.
I will not call it that way because I used to go some days. Exactly. Let's leave it at that. So I also joined the ICT unit there in church.
Okay.
And there I met some tech gurus.
And they inspired you.
People that I know that they didn't just do what they did, but they were really good at what they did. And people that were also striving to get better at what they were doing.
Okay.
And so that's part of it. Then the other part of it is that the way I am, I am always forward looking. Like I'm always thinking about the next step. What do I do next? And plus looking at how the economy is, the way I see and I know for a fact that I see people leave school and it's
jobs.
Not really exactly. So what can I do at the moment that I can, so that after NYC I can be able to at least lay my hands on something or even be an entrepreneur with it. And so I spoke with one of the guys there and he was like, I mean, there is something you can do while you're still earning alawi. You can buy data. You can do that now while you're still serving. And hopefully when you're done, you should be able to get a job. Or better say, you can do this thing for yourself and freelance, right? Be a freelancer and work on stuff for people and get money. And I took that advice. I think that is like one of the best things I did for myself in 2021. I took that advice and
you started 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
November to be precise.
Okay.
I wasn't really serious at the beginning because I didn't have a laptop. So I actually
every techie's problem. Laptop.
Exactly. So I had nice people in church too. So one of them used to lend me his laptop for the weekend, and I also used Solo Learn to start with. Okay. Then it kept going, and I saved up, and I got my own laptop in February, first week of February to be precise.
Okay.
Exactly. Then I went on. I got into a boot camp, Tide Lab in Abuja. There, they had a pre-fellowship for like 6 weeks. I got in. I did my best. I worked my ass out for that, and then I finished successfully. And also, there was also the main fellowship that was for like 6 months. So I applied for that, and also I applied for Dev Career, both of them at the same time. Okay. I was just like, if one didn't come around, I would get one.
You're really hustling in tech world.
I was hustling.
I love that.
So I got into Tide Lab. Okay, so Dev Career was for 3 months, and it started in September, and I got in. And I was wondering, do I leave Dev Career and focus on Tide Lab, or do I do both? A friend of mine told me to hit both of them
at the same time.
Exactly. So
I not agree.
It was not small though. I did not agree.
So the slogan for this year did not start today. The slogan for this year did not start today.
I started since 2022.
21 years. Okay.
Then I kept going. It was not really easy because I didn't sleep. You know how we all know how the tech space is, because if you are willing to make that sacrifice,
you have to give the time.
Exactly. So having to do projects in this other one and strive to ensure that you do not miss out on any of them. Plus, the Dev Career gave me a laptop that was way better than mine. Okay. So I had 2 laptops. So I just kept on going.
So you were now inspired because you started seeing profit.
Exactly. Perfect. And the Dev Career bootcamp, they also gave us a workspace. Wow. With perfect data, internet access. So it was really cool because I just had to get myself to that place, and that was it. And then I can work and then leave at any time. So it was really nice to have gotten in.
Why did you choose front end? Why didn't you choose graphic design? Why didn't you choose any other course? Why was front end that fascinating to you?
Okay, I would say number one, the person who
because coming from economics, and you're now front end developer.
I know, right?
Why did you choose front end?
So if I were to like tell the path I came from in school, I would say data analysis, right? But the reason I went for front end was because the person who pushed me in
was a front end developer.
Okay. And he was willing,
to show you.
He was willing to give me his time, and he's one of the people I'm always grateful to God that I met. He was willing to give me his time, and his time, when I mean time, he was willing
one of the problem of the ICT,
always reach. He could tell me just reach out at any time if you have issues, and I would do that, and he would help me out. And he helped me with resources. He even introduced me to the Tide Lab, the pre-fellowship I got into, and all. So fast forward to December, the whole program ended, and we're not out to hunt for jobs and do our best. So I just started building projects on my own. Okay. I was also worried. As I said before, I like to think of the next step. Because I just I'm not comfortable with just being here. I like to be sure that, I'm shooting for something in front, ahead. So I applied for a job at K Solutions. There, I came back home December. Then I applied for a job at K Solutions in Abuja. So it's one of the affiliates companies with Tide Lab. So when students are done, they refer to people to them. So I got in. I continued coding. That was full front end developer role. And I also applied for a role at Paystack. Okay. But I did not get it. So the company who did the recruitment for Paystack reached out to me when there was an opportunity at InterSwitch. How I got into InterSwitch was just really crazy because I did not apply for InterSwitch. It was even Paystack I applied for. So they said I did well at the interview, and because I didn't get Paystack, I shouldn't be deterred. I should just hold on. And so I was reached out to somewhere around March, April. Yeah. And then I got in.
That's a very nice story. Now, I want to really understand what were the challenges you actually, or what was the challenges you're facing as a lady, being a developer? Because I believe that if you want to take statistics, it will be of a male-dominated environment. What are the challenges you're facing?
Well, I am not going to say that there's so much, right? Most of the challenges that I am facing are more personal.
How have you actually maneuver your way through the challenges?
Well, okay. So considering the fact that as a lady you have other responsibilities aside from that you have to give your time to work a lot.
Yeah.
So being able to manage your time, like I know I have a problem with my ability to manage time a lot most of the time. So you have to ensure that like time management is like one of the big challenges that I face personally, because you need to be able to ensure that you're able to turn in tasks on time and also make time for home chores and your personal life.
Okay.
So sometimes these things clash, but then you know that of course you need to have priorities, and my job is my priority because I need the money apparently. So yeah, you need to be able to, and also it's important to be in a place where you have nice colleagues. I know when I started out it wasn't really easy because I was like only lady and 2 guys on the team for interswitch, right? I just had to make sure that I did not fall on my hand. Let me put it that way, because I do not want anyone capitalizing on the fact
you're
that
a lady.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I just had to make sure that I did not I made sure that I lived up to expectation. Exactly. So like I feel like there's that pressure that you have to live up to expectation. It depends on where you work. I wouldn't say the same thing for Case Solutions because I was in a team of people who were really cool. Like, I'm not saying they weren't cool here, but then
the pressure was not as much.
Exactly as I felt over here, because I knew I had to give my best shots. So yeah, say that was like majorly it.
Can you say front end has been profitable?
Yes.
Would you have done both front end and back end?
Well, it is beautiful.
Has there been any scenario where you actually have this feeling that if you were also a front end developer, in fact a full stack developer would have been better? Have you had such scenario before?
Being honest, yeah, I think it is better because we know how saturated, like people are coming into tech a lot. Exactly, and the least you can do for yourself is to
up your game.
Thank you. Like up your game. You have to be good. So if you're a front-end developer, you should strive to be full stack if possible, because you want to be relevant. You want to be able to add value to wherever you're working. So if something happens and they're like, okay, pick up this code, you're able to navigate your way through and get things done. So it makes you a valuable member of the team. So anybody can reach out. It just makes you feel like you're valuable, basically, if you're good at both. I'm not saying it's bad to just focus on one and be really good, but it's still okay to do both, if you have the opportunity to.
Okay, how do you see the industry in Nigeria? Do you work remotely?
Yeah, I would say I'm hybrid anyways, because InterSwitch is fully remote, but the other one I have to go to the office on some days.
So how do you see it in Nigeria?
I think it's
lucrative.
Well, I think it is. I think
how lucrative.
I wouldn't put a number to that, but I feel like tech is one of it's fast growing industries. Like it is really growing, and we understand that people are cashing out. Obviously,
I like the word cash out.
People are cashing out. And there are people who are earning dollar, right?
Spending in naira.
Thank you. And there are people that no matter how much this dollar rate wants to rise, it is not their problem. In fact, they are happy because they know that they're not affected in any way.
The higher the dollar, the more
exactly, the more the enjoyment. You just enjoy your life because you're able to get other things. So I would say that yes, it is growing really fast. And so as youths in Nigeria, we should try as much as we can to keep up with the pace and try to also grow as fast as it is growing, because like things are evolving, like new technologies are coming, people are getting really better at what they do. So yeah, the tech industry in Nigeria is really growing at a very fast pace, and you also have to up your game to be able to meet up with what is happening.
Okay, now when we are back from this break, I would like us to discuss one of the important aspects of this conversation, but that will be after this break. Thank you very much.
All right.
At Netizen, we have built our state-of-the-art, serene and conducive workspace. It is fully equipped with all the facilities to have a comfortable and an amazing work time at our hub. If you need a place to work, handle your business meetings, or take that exams, our workspace offers 24/7 power supply, unlimited access to internet, overnight hours, private space, and business services. Welcome to our versatile conference hall, a premier space that accommodates gatherings of 50 to 70 persons. Nestled within our facility, this conference hall is designed to cater to a diverse range of events, making it an ideal choice for both professional and social occasions. With its spacious layout and comfortable seating, our conference hall provides an optimal setting for seminars, workshops, trainings, and conferences.
Welcome back. We are still with the phenomenal Joy of Young. Joy, what is your role in InterSwitch? You said you are a developer relation manager. What does a developer relation manager do? What is the job of a developer relation manager?
Okay, maybe you probably don't really get that well. So what I really do is I work with developers who are trying to integrate with InterSwitch. You know, we have a payment gateway, InterSwitch payment gateway, where you have a web application, or say an e-commerce website, and then you integrate with us in order to be able to get money from your clients. So people come to your site. Say, for example, Jumia, right? So if Jumia is integrated with InterSwitch, they can use our portal to get money from clients who buy stuff on their site. And then we remit the money to them. So we're more like a middleman to get money from
buyers and sellers.
Exactly, I'll put it that way. Between Jumia, which is the platform where you're buying stuff, and then you, where you're trying to get money from the person who's buying from you, basically. So what I do is I assist developers who are trying to integrate with us in cases where they have issues or they run into bugs which are related to our system or theirs. I help them navigate their way through, basically. So I would say I do more of technical support. I'd put it that way.
Okay, is that role strictly for front-end developers?
No, you need to have an idea of how APIs work. So apparently you also have to have okay. I do not want to use technical terms, so I would say it's not strictly for front end, but you definitely need to have an idea of how the back end works too. So that's because you're working with both front end and back end developers, so you need to be able to assist any of them. You're not going to say, okay, I'm more a front end person, so I'm not going to help them. It doesn't work that way. And the role is mainly for back-end people. So for you as a front-end person to be there, you just have to be able to exactly and convince whoever is employing you that you can do this stuff.
No, how do you see AI affecting what you're doing?
What?
AI, how do you see affecting what you're doing? Do you believe AI will take your job?
Okay, that fear is there. That fear is there. But then I would say that that is why it's important to keep getting better and adding value in any possible way you can, right? I don't know how the AI field is growing. I know there's something called emotional intelligence, right? So there's this part where you have to relate with we call them merchants, developers, directly. And I think emotional intelligence has a lot to play in that, and how you're able to relate with the customers, because they're your customers apparently, you know. So your ability to not just be good technically, but also have that ability to, to speak and also convince people, basically do sales, right? You're able to sell the brand, sell InterSwitch, and convince people to integrate with you, right? Even when they face bugs and they feel like it's taking too much of their time, they should move to another system. You're able to, help them get that patience to hold on and keep up with the process of integrating with you. So I feel like being able to, improve your skills and add a lot of value to yourself might just solve the problem of it. Will not entirely, because we know how the whole AI thing is coming up really fast. Like there are a lot of things. We have ChatGPT, it keeps growing, and anybody can do anything. But then it is important to know how to also use these tools, so these AI tools as well, because in cases where it happens that your company decides to make use of any of them, you will not be entirely lost on how it works. So still boils down to adding value and keeping up with the trend of things.
Now, do you believe that anybody can learn front end? Anybody can be a front end, like anybody from any field? Are there special gifts or talent you should possess to be able to navigate yourself in the industry?
Basically, I'm using the word too much. I would say that it's just resilience.
Like just anybody from any field can actually be a front end developer.
Exactly. I did not study computer science. I'm not saying the challenges are not there.
Did you have a computer background? How did you, from economics, and start learning coding?
I did not like computer in secondary school. Right.
So what happened?
So I just had that drive. I would say I look at, okay, I would go through my friend's laptop, right? I'll see the code base, and I would.
Were you afraid of coding initially?
It was scary, right? To look at long lines of codes, and they'll tell you that all these things is what you have here on your website. It was beautiful to be able to write a long line of code, like long lines of codes, and have them out on the web page. Like, it was really nice. And I think it was fascinating for me because I like beautiful things. And I'm like, so I can actually, like, configure this thing so however I want it to be, design this with codes. And also think that I was also introduced to that. So, and I just had the passion, right? And the zeal to just do it. And SAPA 2 was another big motivation. I would definitely not miss out on that.
The fear of the unknown.
Exactly. So when you find an opportunity, and I mean, all you need is
to survive.
Not really that. All you need is just resilience and discipline. And these are things within your power. So why not go for it?
If you were to choose again, will you still choose front end?
That question. Right now.
Yes.
I do not think I would choose front end.
What would you have done?
I'd have probably tried to, if I had known I would be here, right? Maybe I would have taken up a course on developer relations, maybe tech advocates, because over time in my job here, I realized that I like to talk. I like to talk a lot. Okay. I like to relate to people. And maybe I would have thought of a skill that is related to that, but also in tech.
What kind of skill would that be?
But that would be more like developer relations, take up courses on how to grow, and also API documentation, more like technical writing, right? So those are like things I would have also considered, and also back end as well. But then I'm still not regretting my decision because.
Would you prefer economics to front end development?
Would I prefer economics? I still love what I studied, but I'm not
when
saying.
When last did you use your degree?
Oh no, I haven't used it. I haven't.
Oh, you've not sold your degree.
Why would I? I spent 4 years to get that thing. No.
Oh, you call it a thing now?
Oh no! I spent 4 years to get it. It's very precious. I wouldn't. No. But I'd say they all help, and you never can tell when these things might just come in handy. So I will not follow people to say that school is scam.
School is a scam.
I am not in that WhatsApp group.
Okay, you left.
I was never there.
I was not there too. Education is not a scam.
No. School is never scam.
Okay, now if you were to advise younger ladies like you, especially those who are in their final year in school, and will you advise them that take a profitable career?
Yes, I would. I would advise them that tech is a profitable career. And I know people think tech is all about coding, yeah?
The
and
scary part
the
of
fear
tech is coding.
But then you don't have to code. That's the beautiful part of it. You can still build web applications. We have no-code platform these days. We have WordPress, and there are a lot of other ones that are coming up. You do not need to write a single line of code for that. And also there's also other parts of tech that do not really need you to code. You just need to find out there's product management, there's project management, there's graphics design, there's UI UX. Tech is really broad. So you just need to find out what you love and how you can fit into the tech space and take advantage of whatever is happening there.
Okay.
So I would encourage people to just push and give it your best shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Well, you find out that you're terrible at coding, and then somehow, because you're in that space, you will not want to quit.
Okay.
Because you would have met people. That's where the importance of joining communities coming. You would have met people who are like doing this stuff, and also maybe you meet somebody that is just like you, and you guys can just maybe figure out another route together. Okay. Right? So it's not something you should want to do isolatedly. That's another thing. You do not want to be isolated. Like, I want to do this like on my own, and you said to code alone. Like, you don't want to like this is a workspace, right?
Yeah.
You come around, you meet other people that are also coders, you speak with them, and they'll tell you more about it. So it's important to not want to do it alone. It's important to try to join a community or just go to places where you see people do this tech thing and learn from them. Okay. Imagine if I didn't join ICT unit in church and I just decided to just go to my church.
To be an usher.
No, leave ushering. Say I wanted to just go to church and
leave every
Sunday. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have met.
So your environment inspired you.
Exactly, my environment inspired me.
Now, when you were learning these skills, do you understand, of the different skills you use in actually designing the front end, which of them gave you a tough time? Because I know everybody speaks about Python. Do you understand?
Okay.
So which of the skills gave you a tougher time to learn?
Well, Python is not really for front end.
Yeah, I mean those that actually did back end.
Okay.
Talk about Python.
Yeah. All right.
Those that did data analysis talk about Python. Everybody like Python will bite you. Python will bite you. Which of these the skills you were learning, or this stuff you were learning, that actually gave you a tough time to assimilate?
I would say JavaScript.
Everybody, I expected you to say JavaScript because everybody talk about JavaScript.
Exactly.
So how did you maneuver your way? How do you navigate? Are you good in JavaScript now?
I would not say I am perfect at it, right?
So how did you get to the point you are now?
Then it's consistent practice.
Okay.
Right. You go through HTML, CSS, it is easy, and you just coding good just fits you until you hit JavaScript. And then you realize that
once you can handle JavaScript, you will never be hungry again.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing is that I do not believe you can completely know it. Right?
Okay. You're still learning it.
You have to keep learning it. Like, how do I put it? It's something you have to continuously build projects and work on. Because if you feel you know it and you just leave it, it's like you forget. I feel the way coding works is if you leave it for 1 day, to leave it for 10 days or 100 days. Right. So for JavaScript, what I do, and I am still doing, is to pick up projects that are tasking, projects that demand you to do a lot of logical thinking, right? You pick them up and then you get over it. You pick up another one that is more difficult. Yeah, one thing that also helps, which I know I don't do and I'm supposed to be doing, is taking coding challenges. Now that helps a lot with your logical thinking. So you take up these coding challenges and you try to solve them, right? They're all about logic, your ability to think logically. It helps a lot with your JavaScript. So I don't think JavaScript is something you can completely know. There are people who are very good at it. I'm not disputing that fact. There are people who are very, very good at it. But for me, I would not tell somebody that in 2 years you know JavaScript. You could anyway.
In 2 years?
You could. Here's what I'm saying. You can be a badass at it in 2 years, obviously. But it also depends on your ability to give in time and energy and work really hard towards it. That's where it also comes in. You just have to try to keep getting better at it every day.
How long did it take you to actually build that confidence, and they will say they have an opening for a front-end developer and you could apply? How long did it take you?
Well, I'm not going to I do not like putting numbers to these things, but this one was that after the boot camp, which was 6 months.
You were now confident in yourself?
I was confident, not because I felt I was very good at JavaScript, but because I felt like if something comes, I can work really hard to ensure that I get it. Like, there's this thing with, you're not very good, but then you know that if something comes, you will attempt it. You will shoot for it. Yes. Exactly. So that is that confidence that if something comes.
So after the training, you had that confidence?
Yes, I would say that. after the training, and even in the course of the training, you're definitely going to meet things that are going to be difficult.
How long did it take you to train?
I'm still training. But the boot camp was for 6 months.
So in 6 months, you were confident to actually walk anywhere?
Do not say that. but here's what I'm just trying to say. There are people who are very good. They probably dedicate so much time, and in 3 months, they feel like they're okay. Like, people are different. Their ability to assimilate these things differ. There are people that after a year, they feel like, but then you can never be good enough. That's the thing. You cannot, there would never be a time when you can tell yourself that it's until I'm able to build Netflix, then I can say that I am very good and I can apply for jobs. Things will pass you by, right? So it's when you see that you are making efforts, you're getting good at this thing. I mean, you didn't know how to map yesterday. Well, you can write a map function today. That's growth. And then you realize that, okay, you're getting better at data types. You just keep going. You apply. You just, what's the worst thing that can happen?
It's for you to fail.
Exactly. You probably get to the interview and they tell you sorry, or they give you a rejection mail, and you move on.
You learn from there.
Exactly.
Okay, your last advice, your last words before we leave. And I think I'll bring you back again. Your last words before we leave.
Okay, so I would say that tech is indeed overwhelming, but then if people are cashing out from it,
find a way and cash out.
Exactly. Try to come in and just give it your best shot. Like,
anybody can be a techie.
Exactly. Anybody can be a techie, right?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
On that note, we'll come to the end of today's episode. And before we go, don't forget that the elite trade of the 21st century are not those who did not go to school or those who will not go to school. They are those who have refused to evolve as their environment is evolving. My name is Providence Essien. See you again.